We'll be getting crazier. Like, what event? Like a reggaeton event, or like a EDM?
I would say it depends what kind of crazy you're talking about, because like crazy in terms of like, yeah, like people getting drunk and like blacked out, and like there'll be like maybe some fights and stuff like that. Like I would say like a reggaeton crowd.
What's probably the craziest interaction you ever had at a show?
Craziest interaction, like I've had girls that would try to come and try to kiss me like while I'm DJing. I'm like, yo, I don't know you.
Yeah, we hear that a lot. The kissing.
Yeah,
the girls
yeah.
just kind of try to kiss you.
Who looks like who cheats out of all three of us?
I don't like he looked at me.
I know.
No, I'm trying to look at all. No, I play like Justin Bieber "Baby" almost in all my sets, and you know a lot of DJs may talk mess about me for doing that, but bro, people go crazy for that song. Like guys and girls, anyone.
Yeah, because we're believers. So if you play "Baby,"
Bro,
we're gonna be singing our
I'm
song.
gonna be.
Our song.
Yeah.
What? You not gonna be singing? Tripping.
I'm gonna be
My
singing.
drink.
Nah, that's crazy.
Welcome back to another episode of RB Podcast, guys. Our second podcast of the year. Thank you guys for all the love and support on the David Vlogs podcast. It's going crazy. Shout out to David. We got to do a part 2 with him for sure. But today, guys, we have another special guest with us. Our first DJ. We've never had a
In the
DJ
house.
before, so that's kind of special. Our boy, Baywav. Thank you, bro, for coming. Oh, my bad.
No, go for it, bro.
I was
Nah,
just
it's
thank
cool,
you
all
for
cool.
coming, bro. We really appreciate it, bro.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, when we tell people about our podcast, they'll be like, "Oh, what do you guys talk about?"
Yeah.
Or like, we'll be like, "To be honest, we talk about anything, whatever." And I kind of love that we don't have a specific category, because then we could have DJs, we could have influencers, athletes, all of that.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So first DJ, hopefully the first of many.
First of many.
First of many, for sure.
Yeah, I feel like I kind of add on to what Chris said. I think it's pretty cool that we have you on it, because what if someone wants to be a DJ out there and they find you and they come upon your teaching stuff, that would be cool. So that's why I kind of like opening up everything, having anyone on. So, but do you want to introduce yourself to everyone?
No, of course, yeah. So, my name is DJ Baywav. Trying to go by just Baywav now, dropping the DJ part. And but yeah, I'm Mexican American, born and raised in Oakland, California. I've been in the Bay my whole life. I went to college at Cal, UC Berkeley, and when I graduated, I just pretty much stayed here. I bounced around like a few tech industry jobs. Like I worked at Google and Tesla and like a few other companies, but really just music was my calling. So I ended up doing music and been doing this full time for the last few years, and it's been a crazy journey, man. And like honestly, like kind of like you said, it's all about giving back. So like what's really helped me grow my platform is just educational knowledge and like sharing stuff that I learned. Like, I've only been in the game for like 4 or 5 years, but as soon as I learn something, I just give it back, because like there might be another DJ that's just coming up who like needs that knowledge. And like I didn't have a mentor growing up in the industry. Like I didn't have no one to could really show me the way, not until recently at least. And so I remember when I was back in that position where I was like really trying to make it and no one was trying to help out. So I'm just trying to be that person for like the newcomers, people, because nowadays DJing is becoming so popular. Like I got people hitting me up all the time saying that I just bought a new controller on Amazon, or like my little cousin wants to be a DJ, and I'm like, anyone could do it really. It just depends how far you want to take it.
That's dope. Having people hit you up about that, that's hella cool.
Then what got you like into like doing DJ?
So honestly, like it kind of, man, it's such a like, I don't even know where to start. I would say like when I went to high school in Oakland, we had a DJ there. His name was DJ J12. He was one of the guys that like pioneered like the whole like slow down like Yikin movement with Prices to Rock. And so like at the time he would bring a lot of like rappers to come perform at our school. So we'd have like E40, we'd have Too Short. At the time like Raven Justice was blowing up, like I Am Sue. A lot of these local Bay Area rappers were coming to our high school to perform during lunch and stuff like that. So he was the DJ for that. And so at the moment, like in that kind of opened my eyes to what DJing was at first. And then sooner or later, I kind of just started shadowing him, just kind of watching what he was doing. And then there was another friend who he was doing like our school dances. And then I started just watching over his shoulder, like what he was doing. Just I got really intrigued. And so I downloaded the software on my own computer, just started messing around with it. And then when I got into college, there was like a frat party going on, and I pulled up and I was like to the DJ, I was like, yo, what are you gonna play tonight? And he was like, "Oh, I just downloaded like a 4-hour Skrillex mix, and I'm just gonna press play." And I was like, "Bro, what?" Like he's like, "Yeah, like we weren't able to hire a DJ like so last minute, blah blah." And I had all these friends that were like, "Yeah, I can't wait to listen to like Daddy Yankee, and I want to listen to Drake." And little do they know they're gonna show up to a party with just Skrillex. So I was like, "Hey, bro, like." Like I DJ a little bit. Like I'm down to like just like go grab my laptop in my dorm and I'll run back down and just plug in. And he was like, "Yeah, bro, like I'm down. Like if you can just plug in for a little bit." And that's pretty much the beginning of my journey because I ended up plugging in and I didn't get off. I DJed all night, 4 or 5 hours, and I did my thing, man. Like after that, like people were really enjoying what I did, and they ended up booking me again. And then through that event, like other people that were in the room started noticing me, and they started booking me for their events. So I became like a frat and sorority DJ, and like I was doing parties for all the Latino organizations on campus. And yeah, I just kind of spread my name around UC Berkeley. I ended up then like working at like a few local bars in Berkeley, and then I like just moved up my way there, and yeah, it's a long story, but that's pretty much that's pretty much how I got started. Just kind of having fun with it, and eventually like realizing that, once I started moving up in the ranks and like started getting better opportunities, I started realizing there was actually money to be made in this, and like there was times where I was making more money DJing than I would have been at like a traditional job. So I was like, I think this is really what I could commit the rest of my life to. But it definitely took a long time to get there to that point, and it's honestly hasn't been until very recently that I've kind of came to that agreement with myself that like I want to do this for the rest of my life. But yeah, we could talk about that a little bit later too.
Yeah, that's it's funny how it basically all came full circle because now you're like the official like Cal Athletics, right? DJ, you be out there and stuff.
Yeah.
You be doing like what kind of like event? You be like football events.
Yeah. So one thing when I was a student at Berkeley, they had a DJ at the time, and I would see him, and I'd be like, man, like that'd be so dope to be the official DJ for Cal, like my school, and yeah, like later on, like in my career, like I ended up getting the opportunity to come back and be a DJ, and so right now I do pretty much all the sports, so like football, basketball, women's and men's. I've done beach volleyball. I started doing gymnastics last year. We're trying to work a DJ program into the baseball games. Like it doesn't really make sense right now, but we're just trying to really get DJs into like any aspect of Cal Athletics. And I've been working with the guy there who's like the director, Craig, and he's been really putting in a lot of work and a lot of overtime into building out the DJ program there. And so we've actually been bringing in like new DJs too to the program to kind of help out. So the most recent I brought on was DJ Shellheart, she's actually one of the DJs for the Warriors. And so I brought her on because like I wanted her to support me with like the women's games and stuff like that. And so, yeah, so it's for me, like I said, it's always about giving back. But that's definitely an opportunity where like that ended up opening more doors for me in the sports world. Like ended up getting contacted by the Oakland A's too later on, and so that was like super dope too. That can also come full circle being from Oakland.
Yeah. That's dope. Is there like is there kind of like, I guess it doesn't have to be sports, but is there any event or anything you really want to DJ in?
I mean, I feel like every DJ's big dream is to do like a festival, right? And like I did have the pleasure of doing like Outside Lands this last year in SF, and that just really showed me the potential of like what's out there and what I could really do. Like when I showed up to that event, I thought I was gonna DJ to like a handful of people because like I know they have a bunch of little booths, like tiny booths, and like I had seen some of my DJ friends in the past who had DJ'd some. So I thought I was gonna show up and DJ to like maybe just people walking by. But when I got there, like it was like hundreds, like if not thousands of people that were in the crowd, and like I didn't even prepare a set like for that crowd. So I ended up having to improvise on the fly. But anyways, that really got me excited to just like playing really big crowds. And so now I want to shift more into doing like making my own music, doing my own production, and launching my own parties so I could like DJ to more people. Because right now, like I do mostly nightclubs, and nightclubs like they'll have like maybe like 1,000-person max capacity. Like there's been some clubs I've done that are a little bit bigger, but for the most part they're a little more intimate, and so now I think definitely like now that I've got the taste of like what it feels like to be at a festival, I'm like I want to keep doing this. Like this is dope, So I think that's probably what I'd want to do. I don't know what festival specifically, but one that's always been on my radar is EDC Mexico. Just because obviously I'm Mexican, like I'm Latino, like You know, I think it'd be dope to showcase like my Mexican Latino roots while I'm out there, and so I think that's probably one of my dream bookings for sure.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
When once you perform there, don't forget about us.
Hey, let's y'all be
We'll
on my
out there.
y'all be on my guest list for sure.
Come
Yeah,
on,
we
we're there.
For sure.
We're gonna be there. We're gonna be there with a bottle service for you.
Nah.
Oh, actually,
The bottle
today
service.
too.
Yeah.
Talking about like performing and stuff. You actually
Yeah.
gonna have your set out here in SF, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not mistaken, Gasolina, right? Gasolina party.
Yeah, so this set tonight, I'm working with a promotion group called Gasolina Party. They just started an off-brand called Reggaeton Rave, and so it's the same company, same brand, but it's a little bit different music. Gasolina is more like reggaeton oriented. Reggaeton Rave is like obviously a little more like EDM, like Latin oriented. But yeah, so tonight is the first night we're doing that party at Temple. Which is like one of the biggest clubs in SF, and so that's a really big collaboration for us to like get in the room. You know, there's 2 floors at Temple, and so they gave us the bottom floor to like kick off this first series. But like the demand is insane. Like we've blown ticket sales out of the water. Like guest list is crazy deep. Like so for the next one, hopefully they'll move us up to like the bigger room, and hopefully the goal is to lock in like a monthly or like bi-monthly residency there. And like again, going back to the whole thing, like they've given me the opportunity to like provide opportunities for other DJs while I'm doing that. So my goal is like once we get that locked in, like I want to just start booking like local DJs to come show their talents on that stage too.
Hell
Yeah.
Guys, we're on the guest
dope.
list for this show tonight, so it sounds like we're gonna have a long, fun night today. So I'm excited.
It's
for
gonna
sure.
be a good time for
Hell
sure.
That's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
Is there any other places you perform other than the Bay?
Yeah, so right now, so primarily I like rotate around the Bay, like San Jose. I have a few spots in San Jose that I do, in San Francisco and Oakland. But right now, my most recent out of town thing has been in Reno. So I locked in a DJ residency this year at a club called Lex nightclub. It's inside the Grand Sierra Casino Resort, and that's
I
always
think we've
been,
been there, no?
yeah. That's always been one of my dreams, is to lock in a casino residency, because one of the DJs that I follow very early on, his name was DJ Conflict. He's based out of Miami. He has a podcast and he talks about just like the opportunities that he gets, and he always talks about how like casino gigs are like really dope, because they'll fly you in, they'll cover your transportation, they'll cover your housing costs, like, you know, they'll cover like, you know, your room, your board, they'll give you voucher credits for like meals and like even gambling credits if you want. So since I heard that, I was like, man, that'd be dope to like lock in a casino. And so, man, I just, you know, I hit up a few of my DJ homies. I just try to get connected. I did some reaching out, and at the time I had one of my really good friends, Jenny, helping me out, and she like helped me just get in touch with the team over there. And yeah, they ended up trusting me for one night, and you know, I had really good feedback from the staff, and that also really counts. Like a lot of DJs will get their foot in the door, but then they'll mess it up, and they won't get a call back. And I think that's something I've been really fortunate about, that every time I go somewhere new, I try to really make a mark and try to really just be friendly with the staff, try to befriend everyone there. And yeah, so they ended up calling me back. I went back like 2 or 3 more times, and then this last time that I went, they're like, yo, like let's try to get you out here more consistently. And so it's dope, yeah, because I just show up. I like to drive out there because I like driving. But yeah, I just drive out there. I show up. Like, I just give them my name, and I have a room already. And then I just, like, I get to skip the line at the buffet when I go eat. So, like, it's pretty cool. I just going nuts. I've taken a few of my friends. Like, I took my mom, too, because my mom loves going to the casino. And every time she goes out there, she's, like, used to dropping all this money on getting a room and all this and the food. So this time that I went, I'm like, let me take care of you now. And, like, and it was crazy because we just skipped the line to VIP, like, got our room key, like, skipped the line at the buffet, like, and she just kind of saw the perks that come with it. And I feel like it's one of those things where, like, a few years ago, she would have been like, what are you doing with your life? And like now she kind of sees the perks, and especially when they're benefiting her, like, I'm like, how about the gambling credits? Like, you want some of those too? Like, so yeah, that's been pretty dope for sure. But yeah, that's one of the few places that I've done recently outside. But this whole last year, I had a residency in Santa Cruz as well. So I was going there. I had a residency every first Friday. So that's also a super dope spot. Shout out to Motive in Santa Cruz. It's like the only nightclub in downtown Santa Cruz.
Really?
So there's like a few other like bars, but
Yeah.
that's the only official nightclub. And so it was a pleasure to be working there with their team and having my own night there. And so, yeah, right now, like in terms of residencies, that, and then I'll get a few like random out of town gigs here and there. Like, you know, I have a really good people that believe in me in Vegas that they'll bring me out once in a while, and stuff like that. And so same with like LA. Like I've done a few gigs in LA, Hollywood. So yeah, right now that's really my main goal, just trying to travel a little bit more and just connecting with different promoters, different DJs in different areas.
That's amazing, bro. That DJ life sounds good. I might become a DJ. I'm not gonna lie. My boy Nano over here, he will become a DJ just for the gambling credits. That's it. I'm just saying.
Hey, that's not a bad excuse.
I'll be going to the casino.
Yeah.
With my mom. She's addicted. I don't
You go to San Pablo or what?
No, she be going to the one in Santa Rosa.
Oh, Graydon?
Yeah, we went to Vegas. How long ago? Maybe a year ago? Almost around. Maybe a little more than a year ago.
Yeah.
And my boy Nano, he's going crazy.
Yeah.
Nah, I had a bad time over there. Well, I had a good time, but not really because I lost like a lot of money.
Okay,
you know? But
you had fun. Did you have fun?
I had fun, but the thing is, it was sad to see that money go, just like in the machines and stuff, whatnot. But you know, I had a great time.
We had to drag him out the casino. We were like, no, let's go. He was like, no, wait, I need to win my money back.
I ain't fun. Like the machines are scams, but
honestly, it's that's a whole different thing we can get into. But yeah, like, I had a phase too. Like when I first started making money DJing, like I was getting paid cash. So I'd get paid cash, and then I'd drive straight to the casino. And there was times where I'd get really lucky too. Like one time I hit 2 jackpots, mini jackpots here in San Pablo, like back to back. Like I hit a jackpot like 4K in one machine, and then I literally moved over next to the seat next to me, and I hit another jackpot for 6K.
Dang.
And then
I need to go to San Pablo.
And that second one. Like they were like scanning the cameras. They didn't give me my money for like 2 hours because they thought I was cheating or something. Because they were like, I'm like, what's going on? They're like, oh, we're reviewing the camera footage, like looking in your history. I was like, bro, what? Like, I just got really lucky. It's super hard to get that lucky. So after that, I ended up like going back, and once I started, I mean, you can get pretty addicted.
Once you win once,
you're just like,
you think you can win everything?
Not like one time I went there. My mom was sitting next to a lady. She won like $75,000. And I was like, man, my life is set after that. Like, I'm chilling. Like, and then we went back like 2 weeks later. She was right there in that same machine. God. I was like, bro, if I win 75K, I'm not coming back to the casino, bro. Like, I don't know what she was doing there. But some people really get addicted. Or some people, too. A lot of people that go are like retired. Or they're they get like disability checks or something, so they just go and blow everything there. Yeah, they go crazy. Yeah.
I just turned 21. I went to the casino on my birthday, and I won like $50.
Yeah. Hey, you gotta start somewhere. Yeah.
You know what hurts too when you're hitting the machine and you're not winning, like whatever. Yeah. Like I'll go to the next one. Somebody comes in and then they hits it. Man, that'd be the worst.
People actually do that. They're like vultures. They'll sit behind you.
I do that sometimes.
And if they've seen you been at a machine for a cool minute, they'll. The thing is, though, like you gotta really know, because there's some ways that you can increase your odds for some machines. Like, again, I don't want to get too much into the math, but like a lot of people that go, like my mom, she bets like super low. Like she'll just bet like a few cents per thing. If I go, I'm betting max, because it's like that's how you like if you bet max, like that's how you're gonna get more returns. So sometimes that's what people do. I'll watch someone just be hitting minimum, and they're actually getting like good hits, but because they're betting minimum, they're not getting a lot of money in return. So they could be making like 100, 200 per spin, but they're not, because they're only hitting minimum.
Yeah.
So if I see that sometimes, I'm like, okay, let me, like they're not doing this right, so let me go. Yeah, but it's all a psychetical game. Like if someone had it figured out with it, obviously we would know, but no one has it figured out.
It sounds like that's your side hustle.
It was for a minute.
Don't gamble, kids.
No, do not gamble. Yeah, I am not condoning. And it's funny too, because that's a whole other thing. Like, I really look up to Drake, and like now he's been really promoting like gambling heavy, with like the sports betting, like the stake stuff that does the roulette. And it just gets you thinking about like what are you, like you got to be careful with what you're promoting out there, because he could probably be like getting a lot of younger kids to get into that. And like I will admit that for me, like when I was first started making money, I was getting into like stocks, and I was getting into like options trading and like sports betting and all these things. And it's something that you really got to be careful with, because you can get carried away very quickly. And especially our generation is like, we're very into like dopamine hits. So like if we can place a quick bet on like a game, like we want to make a quick buck, like it gets our dopamine up, and we just keep doing it, but it really messes us up, but yeah, just tread water, tread carefully.
That's this guy right here, bro.
Yeah, you're on Prize Picks or what?
I stopped going to casinos, but the reason why is because I started sports betting.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, but
You got carried
I'll
away
be
with
having
that.
good luck there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if you can really right now I'm working on a Chat GPT bot for
Oh, yeah?
sports betting. One of my friends, he's like really into sports betting, and I showed him Chat GPT, and I was just asking him like, who's gonna win, like Denver Nuggets versus the Warriors, and it actually got it right. And so like I started like just
Damn.
programming it to make it a little smarter, and like started feeding it actual like live statistics. And he follows a lot of like Twitter bots that'll put like injury reports. So it'll be like, oh, Steph Curry is out today with a sprained ankle. So then it will feed that data in, and it'll like recalculate the statistics. So it's like it's crazy.
Don't tell
stuff.
this
Like,
man that. Look at this smile on his face.
Hit me up after the run.
anyways, I think that's enough on gambling.
Yeah, we'll run
Yeah,
it
for
back.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were talking about, you keep on bringing up a lot of DJs, right?
Yeah.
And we seen you tweet or on Thread. You said something about
Yeah.
connections is like it's all about connections.
Mhm.
Because of that, how far do you think connections have helped you? Like if you didn't have those compared to when you have them, do you know what I mean?
I mean, it's a balance. Like I don't want to say my whole career is based on connections, but I do think they go hand in hand. Like you can't have connections without having like full confidence and like putting in the work yourself, right? Because like you can know someone, but they're not gonna put you on if they don't believe in you, you know. So like I think first it comes down to putting in the work yourself, getting yourself out there, and like putting yourself in the spaces you want to be in. And then once you get in those spaces, is meeting the right people, and then they'll put you on if they really believe in you. Because that's really what it comes down to. Like a lot of my biggest opportunities, like, you know, Cal Athletics, like the Oakland A's, like Outside Lands, like all my nightclub residencies, it's all just one person or like two people that just really believe in you, and they like you for some reason, or like they heard good things about you. Like some people, like I just barely met them. Like they just followed me on Instagram and like, oh, I've seen a few of your posts, like let's book you. Like one of my bookings in Portland, like I actually started a podcast like 2 years ago. I did a few episodes, but one of the club owner in Portland, shout out to my guy DJ Frenchie, he heard it and he was like, yo, I love what you're doing, like I want to fly you out to my club in Portland. And it just made it happen just like that. And it's like he didn't even know me, but he just trusted me and what I was putting out. So I think I would say that like in any career, like even when I was doing like tech for a bit, like when I got my job at Tesla, when I got my job at Google, like I didn't even apply. Like I just knew someone, and if they like you, they'll refer you. Cause like especially with companies, like they have incentives if they refer you. Like so if they refer you and you get hired, they'll get money. Like they'll get like $1,000 bonus if you get hired successfully. So same with the industry. Like if you're like a talent booker somewhere, and you're booking for your nightclub, and you bring a good DJ to the table, like it's gonna like benefit the club, and then you'll get better traction at the club. So you're doing your job better. So it's in people's best interest to like work with other good people. So I think that's just what it comes down to. Like first you got to be a good person yourself and like really show people that you're doing the work, putting in the work. And then from there, just meeting the right people, because all it comes down to is like you're literally one person away from the best opportunity of your life. Like, and I'm sure y'all have seen that too. Like with what y'all have been doing. Like
This podcast is a perfect example of that as well. Cause I mean the whole reason you're even sitting right across from us is because we had met. We went to this Ivan Cornejo concert. Stevie, shout out to Stevie. She opened for Ivan. We made a TikTok. She seen it. She came cool. She came on the podcast, invited us to her show. We went to her show. We got to meet randomly. We ran into Tu Chiquito Bombon. Tu Chiquito Bombon is cool friends with my boy Miguel right here. Shout out Miguel behind the cameras. My boy Miguel introduced us to you, and now we're here. So there you go. Perfect example right there.
And that's one thing we should have said in the beginning. Shout out Miguel too. Like someone who like I just met very recently, but like he's become like my manager recently, and like he's the reason again why we're sitting here in this room right now. And like I said, it really comes down to just that one or two people sometimes. Like, and me and Miguel were just having a conversation about this too, because he was asking me like, what are you trying to do? Like, you know, like what are your next steps? And I'm like, well, like for me, I'm kind of working backwards, and it's like not what I want to do, but it's more like who I want to work with. Cause like it's like really hitting those points of like, all right, like here's what I want to do. Here are those people that operate in those spaces. Like let's build these relationships, you know. But it comes down to also like making sure you're not coming off too transactional. Because I've met some DJs and some promoters who like they treat it very business oriented, and it comes off as fake. Like you, like for me, I'm in this industry to make friends. Like I want to build friendships. Like so that's sometimes I don't even like calling it relationships. I call it more of like a friendship. But yeah, I think that's really what it comes down to, just being genuine and just like, and just really being a good person to other people, and it all come back like good karma, you know.
Good karma for
Yeah.
sure. Hell yeah.
I feel like that's been us too. We're always like, we don't really look at things as business. You know, like we like, let's say you come on, right, or White Brazy. We like didn't know him and everything, and he was like a vibe. After that, now we're super cool.
Yeah.
But you know, maybe there's other people we've met that look are really like businessy. You know?
Yeah, for sure.
And that doesn't work as well as like how we get along with Brazy, you know.
Yeah, facts.
But
Shout out Brazy though.
shout out Brazy. Shout out Brazy.
All right, guys, we're back from our little break. You already know. But before we went on a little break, I had a question I wanted to ask. So what's the secret to having a good set? Because you said earlier you was like one of your first like times of you being a DJ.
Yeah.
The guy that was there, he just had a Skrillex 4-hour loop. You know what I'm saying? So like, what's the secret to like making a good set that so you can have people having a good time from start to they leave?
No, for sure. You know, it's funny because I was just thinking about that last night, actually. I mean, I'm always thinking about that, obviously, because I want to be better. But sometimes on my nights off, I go and just visit other DJs, and I'll just like check them out. And I was thinking about that last night because I saw a handful of DJs, probably like 6 or 8 DJs in like the place that I was, and I was just thinking it all comes down to preparation, like how prepared you are, and it could be preparation in different ends. Like you could prepare like your music library, you could prepare like the different points in the song that you're gonna use, like skipping through it, you know, getting your equipment prepared, like whatever preparation you need that you need to work on. Like I think every DJ knows like what they need to work on. As long as you're prepared, I think that's really what it comes down to, because like for any DJ set, like the more prepared you go into it, like the more comfortable and confident you feel. And it really comes down to that, because like I've had some DJ sets where like I came in there and I was like not prepared at all. Like I just didn't, like I just showed up and I just opened my laptop and plugged in and I had no clue what I was going to play. And like sometimes those are the funnest sets too, like especially because I came from like an open format background. So a lot of my early gigs were just like showing up and playing whatever. Like I had no playlist. And even till now, I don't really have like playlists, like set stuff that I play. Like I kind of just like to freestyle. But yeah, I would just say it comes down to the preparation that you put in, because I've seen a lot of DJs who come into a place and like they don't even know how to use the equipment, or like they didn't bring the right cables, or like they don't have the right things, or like, you know, little mistakes like that you could easily avoid if you just prepared better. So I would say like if you really want to have a successful set, no matter where you are, it just really like comes down to how well you prep and how much time you spend prepping. So that's why now, like after I head out from this, like I have this other event, but I always allocate at least 3 to 4 hours of like what I call deep work, which is like I just lock in. I like put some white noise on my AirPods and I just lock into like preparing what I need to prepare for the night so that I can walk in there and just feel confident. Because I've seen a lot of DJs like show up to things and they're rushing and they're like, you know, and I think that's really where you end up. There's more room for error, you know.
Yeah. And is it hard to like kind of like keep up with like the new music or what's popping now, and especially since I'm pretty sure you do different genres? So it's like you gotta listen to this genre and this genre, and there's a new artist this week. Is it kind of hard to like keep up with all of that?
Yeah, I would say like I try my best to keep up, especially in different realms, like, you know, because nowadays with access to like streaming services, like people's music tastes are more diverse than ever. So like even sometimes like the song requests that you get at clubs are like super like stuff that like I'm not gonna play that, like, you know, like no one's like you might like that song but nobody else likes that song. So I think what it comes down to now is just being a DJ is at the end of the day is being a tastemaker. So it's like one thing DJs always talk about internally is like this song is hitting, like we know it's gonna hit, but the people don't know it yet until like 3-4 months later when the radio's played it out a little bit. Like it happens with every song. Like we hear a song and we know it's gonna do well at the club, and we'll play it and it'll just flop. But then you play it 6 months later, like once people have heard it and it's on Spotify playlists and it's on the radio, and then people go crazy for it. So it's like sometimes it's just about timing. So like you could be the best ear to the streets, but like it's all about timing it right. Even timing it in terms of your set, like you're playing it too early might not work out as well as playing it later. Like there's all these things you have to consider, and it really comes down to like the taste that you bring as a DJ, and like what you're expecting the audience to get out of it. But yeah, I would say like now I try to keep up with more just different genres, like see what people are listening to, like. But it's like, for example, like Beyonce just dropped the country album, right? And it's like she has some good songs on there. Like one of them is really trending on Billboard. But I'm sure if I drop that at the club, like it's gonna flop, you know. Like maybe one person will go up, you know. So
Yeah.
things like that. Or sometimes I'll take risks. Like I personally love like Olivia Rodrigo, right? It's like even my little sister doesn't like Olivia Rodrigo, but I like it. So it's like, am I gonna drop one of her songs at the club? Like probably not. Like just because I like it doesn't mean I'm gonna play it. But who knows? You know, sometimes that's really what makes some DJs unique is that they're willing to play stuff that other people won't. And like for me, I've always kept it safe. Because I just want to always make a good impression at the club, and like I've seen some DJs like take too many risks and then they like end up like jeopardizing like, you know, their relationship. So for me, I just keep it simple. Like I just play the stuff that I know people are gonna sing to. And that's the whole other thing too. Like there's music people could dance to, and there's music people can sing to. And I think my cheat code has been playing music that people can sing to, because if people can sing along, then like, you know, people are gonna go crazy. Like for example, like I play like Justin Bieber Baby almost in all my sets, and you know a lot of DJs may talk mess about me for doing that, but bro, people go crazy for that song. Like any like guys and girls, anyone, like, you know. So like, you know, at the end of the day, like they can talk mess all they want, but I'm doing my job. I'm making people sing. People are having a good time. So you know who's really winning at that point, you know. So I think it comes down to just strategy and again just being true to what you believe in. I think
because
really
we're believers. So if you play Baby,
Bro,
we're gonna
bro.
be singing our
I'm
song.
gonna be-
Our song.
What? You not gonna be singing? Tripping.
I'm gonna be
If I
singing.
drink,
Nah, that's
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah.
the alcohol is gonna let me.
Wait, before we move on tonight, that's a whole other point too. I'm a really big Drake fan. So, like I have a Drake tattoo. Like that's how big of a fan I am. But like I don't really play a lot of Drake in the club, surprisingly. And I know like every time I tell people this, they like ask me like why. But I feel like a lot of Drake songs, like personally in my sets, don't really fit in that well. Like I'll play like the songs that I do play, like One Dance or like The Motto, right? But like aside from that, like I don't really drop too much Drake, just because I feel like, I mean, maybe his newer stuff is a little easier to play at the clubs, but like I listen to more simp Drake, like Marvin's Room, stuff like that. And like you can't play that at the club, like unless you're doing an R&B night. But so yeah, there's things like that where sometimes you have to put your own personal preferences aside and just really like you have to be one with the people and think like look at the crowd and really read the crowd and be like, what would that lady over there sing to right now? That's what I do sometimes. If I'm struggling to read a room, I'll just lock into one person and I'll be like, okay, that guy over there, he's not really moving, he's not really singing. Like, what would he want to listen to right now? You know, like sometimes I wish there was like people had a sign over their head with just like what they want to listen to. Like, I mean, that'd be pretty cool. But yeah, no, it's just about having fun at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Talking about like locking on to one person. What's the number one song that people always ask you to put?
I mean, as of recent, it's just become Bad Bunny. Like, it's become like a thing on the internet where like people just put up a sign like asking for Bad Bunny. But I would say one song that I get often. You know what? And it's a song that I get it often, and I'm never mad about it. Is Shakira "Hips Don't Lie"? Like a lot of people request that song, and it always hits. So like I'm never afraid to play it because there's sometimes songs that be like, okay, I'm not gonna play that obviously, you know. But like I think that's a song that I get pretty often. That like, and usually when I get that request, it's usually because it's early on in the night. And I like to save it for later, like because I use that song as a transition between reggaeton and hip hop because it gets a little bit of both. Yeah. So I typically go into like Afrobeat and then I use Hips Don't Lie to go into reggaeton or like vice versa. Or, like I flip it out into Sean Paul because you know Sean Paul is like similar vibe. So yeah, like you know that's a song that I would say always gets requested and always hits.
Damn,
I was not expecting that. Shakira,
me too.
Don't Lie.
Shakira's kind of crazy.
Do you reuse like a song, or you never reuse a song?
Like in a set?
Yeah, in a set.
No, I definitely do. Not as often as I would like, but I feel like it's a strategy that a lot of DJs don't use. Like I feel like, because if you think about a traditional club, like especially for example, when I go to Reno, I'm doing 6-hour sets. So like, if you think about the songs that I play in the first hour, like those people are typically not going to be there until the very end of the night. So I could play the same songs over again, and it'll be a whole different crowd. And so I think sometimes as DJs we get this like this mindset of like, oh, I can't play a song twice. But there's been times where I've done it where I've realized that literally everyone in the room is different, and the only people who are the same might be the staff. But the staff don't care, because the staff, like, if you're a bar, because I always thought about this too, like, man, the bartenders are gonna hate me because I'm playing the same songs. Like when I would have like a resident, for example, when I DJed in Berkeley, I was there Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays every single week, and sometimes I would play the same songs or like whatever. And I'd be like, man, the bartenders must hate me because I'm playing the same songs over and over. But then I thought about it from their perspective. I'm like, as long as I'm getting people to the bar and like getting people to buy drinks, like they don't care. They could care less what I'm. And I talked to some bartenders too. Like, yeah, like DJs will play the same songs. Like every DJ's gonna drop Gasolina or whatever. But like that song just gets people going, and they want to come buy their friends shots, and they want to get drinks. And so, like it's that emotion level that really, like, I think ends up helping out. But yeah, no, there's been times where I've definitely played like the same song, especially if it's a really good song, like or like a birthday song, like 50 Cent in the Club, for example. Like,
like your song,
like I usually wait to play that song at 12, but sometimes like if I get a birthday earlier on, and like they're especially if they're doing like bottle service or something, and they want a presentation and it's their birthday, like I'll play it earlier. So there's things like that. It's situation based, but yeah.
Decent.
Yeah, I know. I'm getting more into the. I didn't know I was gonna get into the more technical DJ stuff. Like,
nah, yeah, that's amazing. I kind of wanted to bring it back, kind of to the beginning of the podcast.
Yeah.
When you had brought up your mom.
Yeah.
And, you said at the beginning she was like, kind of iffy, right? And so she saw the perks coming in.
Yeah.
You know, being Latino and coming from obviously a Latino household. And especially you say you had work for Google, right, and Tesla. So how was it hard, you know, for your family to kind of accept you kind of stepping back from those careers and pursuing DJing? Because I don't know if I could speak only for myself, but I feel like I don't really see too many Hispanics that be like, you know, I'm gonna be a DJ. You know what I'm saying? Like, so
no, for sure. No, honestly, like, and it wasn't just my mom too. It was like a lot of my closest friends, like, even like. Yeah, like my own partner at the time too. Like everyone was just like, dude, what are you doing? Like you're dropping this like steady career. Like, cause at the time I had just quit my job at Tesla, and like, you know, I went in there as like an engineer. Like I was on this like secret autopilot team. Like I had to sign all these NDAs. So it was like super dope stuff that I was working on. But at the end of the day, like I was like, man, like I love this DJ stuff. Like I think I could really like make something big out of it. And yeah, I just decided to give it my all. And like, and again, I think the content that I was making too, like really helped elevate that. Like I started posting, I made this video that was like, oh, I quit my job to be a DJ. And then bro, everyone went crazy on it. Like, oh, like congrats. Like that's so dope. And I think that just gave me more motivation. But yeah, like at first, like everyone was like around me, like my parents especially. But you know, it's understandable, you know, because your parents didn't want what's in your best interest. And like, at the end of the day, like they're just looking out for me, and like they don't know any better than to just follow a traditional path. And like, you know, I did the whole path. Like, you know, I got straight A's in high school. Like I, you know, went to a good college and had all that. So in their eyes, they wanted me to keep it going with like, you know, pursuing the steady career and all this stuff. And so I get it now that I'm older. Like I recognize that, but at the time it was like the hardest thing to overcome, because like I feel like I had nobody on my side. Like even the people that were closest to me were like, dude, like what are you doing? Like, you know, you should be sticking to what you already know. And I think now it's actually the opposite problem, where like 5 years later, like I go to Mexico, and like I go to like this super small town where my family's from, and everyone's there like, oh, eres el DJ, like you're the DJ, like, or like anytime I'm with a friend, like here, like hanging out with someone, and they introduce me to somebody else, like, oh, this is my DJ friend. Like, so like my whole identity has shifted from like, now I'm like, people accept me as a DJ, and like my family, my friends, and even my parents now too. Like it took them really for me to like bring them out to a few of my gigs and like see what I was doing. And like, you know, like my parents, they used to take me to the A's games when I was a kid. So for them to now see me like working there, like as a DJ, and seeing all the perks that come with it, like again, like going back to the casino, like my mom loves the casino, taking them to the casino, like, you know, things like that. Like once they start seeing how like being in this position can like make things in life a little bit easier, like I think that's when they realize like, oh snap, like, you know, there's something in this. And then I think also with social media too, it helps. Like they see the traction that I get on my videos, and they're like, man, like people are actually like responding to this, like things like that. So yeah, I think I really just had to show them. And I think that comes with anything that you do, like no matter what career, no matter what you're doing, like people are gonna doubt you, but it's not until you start like showing results that people are gonna believe in you, but that's the hardest part for sure. Like I went through some dark times, like for sure. Like I couldn't even get out of bed sometimes. So I was just like, man, like nobody believes in me, like that I make the right decision, like really doubting myself. And there's times I actually did go back to another full-time job. And then again, I realized like being in the job for a few months, like I loved what I was doing. I was having a great time. I was making like a really good salary, benefits, like healthcare, everything. And then I just dropped it all again to do this because it just felt right to me. And that's honestly one thing in my life that like, it may not be the best advice for everyone, but for me personally, like every time I have an idea and I really love it and everybody else tells me it's a terrible idea, like that's more of a thing. It tells me that I'm doing something right. Because I'm like, if nobody else sees the vision, then that makes me unique, you know, and that like, that might be what I can bring to the universe, you know, like if other people don't see it, I'm going to be the first to bring it to the world. And that's really what's helped me a lot in a lot of things that I do. Like, I'm like, man, like I want to be the first to do this. Like I want to be and that's honestly just to end it all back. Now I'm realizing that like, it all comes down to just that is like, doing the things that you want to like set your mind to. And like, damn, I just blanked out exactly what I was going to say, but I'll come back to it. But I had something fired, but yeah. But in long story short, that's what it comes down to.
That's really cool. I feel like not that many people have like that type of mindset. You know, I feel like a lot of people will go back and like just settle for that. But I think that's cool. You think it's like, oh, I'm unique. You know, some people might think, oh, I'm weird, but you have that. Nah, like I got this. I'll be the first. Like I think that's really cool. I think that's something that a lot of people can learn too.
Yeah.
It's amazing too how everything just worked out too, you know.
Yeah, I mean, slowly. Like I said, every day is just another day. Like you know, one thing can go left, one thing can go right. But for me, everything's just a learning lesson. You know, like if I walk out the street right now and I get like ran over by a car or something, like to me, I just try to take everything as a learning lesson. You know, like literally, like because you gotta really expect the unexpected. Like especially I've like in my life, like stuff has happened that I was not expecting, and like. Just no one's ever gonna be prepared for nothing that life throws at you, but it's just how you respond to it that really like is gonna like determines who you are as a person, you know. Because you can either get super beat up about it or just like make it your mission to overcome it. And I think that's really what separates like strong people or like successful people from people that struggle a little bit more, you know.
Kind of like shifting away from that type of topic. What's probably the craziest interaction you ever had at a show?
Craziest interaction, man, I've had a few, but I would say like, you know, one of the things that comes with this industry is just like, obviously like there's a lot of attention around you all the time. Like, you know, people want to be your friend. Like, you know, girls are always like, you know, trying to like be with you and stuff. And like for me, like I just got out of a long-term relationship, but like most of my career I've been in a relationship pretty much. And like, so I was always like, just like, you know, staying committed. Like I had like if another girl tried to talk to me, I was like get away from me, like, you know. But there's girls like, you know, I'd go to a club, and then like one time I had these two girls that were like, yo, like you were dope, you killed it. Like I was, oh, thank you. And they're just hanging around. Then at the end they're like, yo, like, you know, would you want to come with us? Like we'll like book a hotel room right now. Like, do you want to just come with us and just like hang out? And I was like, what do you mean, like hang out? They're like, yeah, like just come with us. Like, you know, we're just like, we'll get one around the corner and just like come through with us. And like, and I was like, bro, what? And like people are like, they'll do some weird stuff. Like they'll just like do whatever. But I think some of the craziest interactions would be like that. Or, like I've had girls that will try to come and like try to like kiss me like while I'm DJing. I was like, yo, I don't know you.
Yeah, we hear that a lot. The kissing. The girls just kind of try to kiss.
Yeah, I'm just like, dude, like, you know, I don't know. It's just things like that. That for me is like kind of like it's like some DJs love that, but for me personally, like I'm not too big into that. But like, yeah,
it's because we Bay Area men are loyal.
Yeah, we're loyal.
We're loyal. Yeah.
Okay, buddy.
What does that mean?
Okay, buddy.
What does that mean? Speak for yourself, bro.
We got someone right here.
Cut it.
Most, bro. Out of all three of us, who looks like who cheats? Out of all three of us.
I don't like he looked at me.
I know.
No, I'm trying to look at all. No, I don't know. I can't.
No, you gotta say something.
It's for sure him. We both agree that it's him.
Yeah,
it's not.
That's
crazy. Y'all setting me up right now.
But if he was a DJ, oh man.
Oh, if I was a DJ,
he would have said yeah to those two girls. Quick.
He would have said yes to everything.
Nah, don't believe these, man.
A little birdie told us that you don't drink or anything.
Yeah.
And kind of like on the same topic, how do you like stop, or like how do you not get into that type of stuff?
Yeah,
Or especially since you're always in the party like industry type stuff,
yeah.
clubbing and stuff. How do you not like fall into that hole?
Yeah, man. I mean, that was a journey in itself too, cause like, so I never drank growing up. Like, I didn't drink till I was like much older. So, um, when I first started DJing, the first few years, I didn't drink at all. Like, I didn't do any substances, and then within in like my second or third year, like, I started realizing that they had some benefits. Like, if I took a shot here and there, with like, there sometimes like a club owner will like, hey, stay later. Like, let's stay after your set. Let's chop it up, and then they'd offer me a drink, like, or some of the partners of the club. And I don't want to be that guy that just didn't take a shot with them. Because the club owners, like, this could lead to something else. So I started taking like a shot here and there. Like, I started drinking casually. Like, I'd go to a restaurant, order like a cocktail, but then that's when I started going through a lot of more like health complications, and specifically with my pancreas, and like alcohol directly affects like the pancreas. And when I started drinking alcohol, like, I started like going to the hospital very often. And so I started realizing that there was a link between like my alcohol consumption and like that. And it's crazy because I didn't drink a lot. Like, it literally was like I've been drunk maybe like one time, but like very like not just on the verge. Like, I've never wilded out, like nothing. Like, I've never had a hangover, like nothing. I've been pretty chill. But yeah, like, it all just comes down to like how you want to be known in the industry. Because one of my mentors right now, like, for like 10-15 years of his career, he was always blackout drunk every night. And like, he now is sober. Like, he's sobered up. Like, he like completely like 360'd his life. And like, and to him, like, he kind of just talks about the two sides of that. And like, he knows how that affected his relationships with certain people, like, like with DJs, with promoters. Like, it can jeopardize your career. And I think a lot of podcasts that I've been watching recently with like DJs, a lot of them are giving up drinking because they're realizing that, like, imagine drinking every single weekend, like heavy, like, you're drinking a lot. And like, for some DJs, like, a lot of DJs, like, they say like, oh, you need it to like, calm the nerves or whatever. Everyone has their own excuses, but I have some DJ friends who like do have a lot, like, very serious like alcohol issues, where like they just get like, sometimes they'll start making mistakes while they're DJing, or like stuff like that, or like some like managers or people at the club start noticing things like that. So for me, it's like, again, because I really value the relationships I have with people, I just want to like always just stay as sharp as possible. And for me, staying sharp is just staying away from that. But yeah, I mean, I don't think I'm better than anybody else. Like, I think you can have fun and drink. Like, I'm not against drinking, like, like whatever. Like, I understand it's part of the culture, but me personally, like, I kind of just stay away from it. And I think also probably just seeing it from my parents too, because my parents don't really drink too crazy. So like, I think just seeing that in my life too, where like, I'm sure other people who have a lot of alcoholism in their household, like, probably are more inclined to do that.
Yeah. That's good, because I mean, at the end of the day, like, be like, you're doing that, you're choosing the right path, because
yeah, again, I mean, I don't want to say I'm like on the right path, because I know plenty of DJs who are fucked up every weekend, and I could say they're on a better path than me, So I think it's for like John Summit, for example. I don't know if you guys know John Summit, like, bro, he has a bottle of like 1800 every single weekend, and so it's like he's obviously doing better than me. So like, he's drunk every weekend. So again, it's like that's why I like to emphasize, like, I don't think I'm better than anyone else, or I'm doing this or that. It's just me personally, for my situation, like, I don't need it, but someone else might need it, or whatever. Like, I don't like to judge. I don't like to place labels on.
Well, what I meant by like right path was more like health wise. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, what's more important, trying to have fun, or like, be healthy once you're like 60.
No, that's facts. Yeah. But I always just like to clarify that with anyone, because I'm like, I don't want people to think like, oh, Bayway thinks he's better than me. Because people will say that, right off the bat, like, oh, you don't drink, you don't smoke, like, you think you're better than me. It's like, nah, like, it's not even about that.
Hey, well, this kind of well, since the A's are moving, does that mean, are you gonna go out there too, or what?
Man, it's funny because there's a DJ named Jay Espinoza. He's like the world champion of like all DJs. He's from the Bay, and he used to be with the Raiders, and he was like the in-house Raiders. And he did an interview when they asked him, "Are you gonna move with them?" And at the time, he's like, "Yeah, like, I'm down to move out, like, all this stuff." But then you start realizing there's like all these different politics that go into it. Like right now, like, it's dope doing the stuff with the A's, but then when you realize they're moving to Vegas, like like as soon as the Raiders moved, the first DJ they booked was Marshmello. You know, because it's like you're in Vegas now. It's like, bro, you're doing like
different.
it's a whole different. So I'm like the chances of me moving out there and still working with A's is pretty slim. We haven't had those conversations yet because again I just started working with them last year, so I'm still getting acquainted with the team, and like I'm still gonna be doing this season coming up, which is gonna be the last season, and so I'm just try to keep my networks open. Like I know some DJs in Vegas who are like in the kind of process of like being part of that whole thing, so I'm gonna just try to stay looped in. Like obviously I'd love to like I'm not one of those people that's like, oh, they moved to Vegas, like fuck them. You know, like I'm always gonna rep everything. So I'm just like,
you're repping it right now.
Yeah. I'm like, like the Warriors, moved to
Yeah.
SF. Like I'm from Oakland, like I still support like whatever. So yeah, I mean, yeah, I'll be down to go. But as of right now, like there's no official like I can't say like yes I'm going or no. And
Shout out to A's though. We
Yeah,
gotta go to one of the games, bro. Last
We're
season.
going.
For sure.
We're going.
Hey, if I want to go to one of these when I'm DJing, come through.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
bro,
bro,
that'd be
for
perfect.
sure.
I got you
Yeah,
tickets. Yeah.
My boy Miguel, just look at us.
Tour. I have classmates that work.
No.
Oh,
Swear.
yeah.
Getting a tour? Yeah,
Oh,
tour.
do a
Let's
tour.
do it.
I don't
Let's
think
do
I've ever been inside that Coliseum.
I don't think I have either.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna
I
lie.
need
It's pretty surreal when you get to touch the turf and you're like,
Really?
like
Oh, I've never
It
touched
feels
the
more
turf.
like a baseball stadium than the Giants.
Really?
Really?
Wow. I've been to a Giants game.
Oh
I've been
well,
to a
actually,
Giants
yeah,
game.
huh? It's more like old
It's
school
like
kind
old
of.
school, like,
Yeah, huh?
like, nice enough.
Yeah.
yeah.
Damn,
That's great.
that's kind of cool.
Shout out to A's though. for real.
Shout out
Yeah.
A's.
So this whole podcast we kind of been talking about all the pros about being a DJ.
Yeah.
Is there any cons that come with being a DJ?
I'm sure there's many, but like, I don't know, I gotta be more specific. Like, is there like something you're thinking or like?
Just anything maybe that you experience, maybe that you're like, oh, maybe
Yeah.
it's kind of hard staying up late.
Yeah,
every
I mean, I
weekend.
think if anything, it comes down to just scheduling. Because like for example, like the weekends are like the days where like my friends and my family have off from work, and it's when I work, you know. So it's like it's been hard for me to find a balance between like hanging out with my family, hanging out with my friends, like because because our times just don't coincide. It's like, oh, let's do dinner Saturday night. And like I can't because I'm DJing, and there's been plenty of times like that where like my friends have their own house parties, and like they're like, oh, we're gonna go bowling or we're gonna go to the movies, but I can't go with them because they're like, because I'm DJing, I'm working. So I think that's one of the hardest things, is just like balancing that friends and family relationship with business, and then the whole other thing too is just like sleep schedule too, because like depending what market you work in, like in Miami for example, like clubs close at like 4 or 5 a.m. And here in the Bay, like the curfew is 2 a.m. But like by the time you pack up, you say bye to the staff, you like drive home, you get settled in, you like take a shower, you whatever, you're hungry, you might eat something, like I don't end up going to bed till like 4 a.m. And then depending what day it is, like people's day gets started right at 8 a.m. So it's like you're gonna sleep at least 8 hours. So I don't end up waking up till like 12 p.m. or something, and so I get a late start to my day. So there's all these things that like now that I'm doing this full time, like I've had to like learn that I have to kind of create my own schedule, and that's the cool thing about it too. Like I have flexibility, but it's also like you have to like everyone has to just adapt and figure out what works for them. Like right now I'm trying to like implement the gym into my schedule, so I'm trying to figure out, okay, like realistically, like tonight if I go to sleep at like 3, realistically what time am I gonna make it to the gym, things like that. So I would say that's one of the biggest downsides, is just like the timing with just like your own personal life, but then with other people is like because I know a lot of DJs that are like overworked, like don't sleep enough, like things like that. So that's probably one of the biggest things, like with a lot of like kind of like the cliche, like Superman, like with great power comes great responsibility. And I think that's kind of what I see it. Like we have a lot of power in terms of our time, but if you don't use it responsibly, then you're gonna end up really like tired and just like burnt out. And a lot of DJs do experience burnout. I experienced it twice already in my career, and that's why I do a lot of content around that, like how DJs can minimize their burnout. Because I see a lot of my friends that are burnt out, and they just like you get in this vicious cycle. You just can't get out of it. So it's a whole other thing that DJs learn very early on, and sometimes even later, but it ends up hitting you hard eventually.
I'm pretty sure like not drinking helps a lot too, right?
Yeah,
you
for
don't wake
sure.
up with a
Yeah,
hangover,
you don't
know
want
what I'm
yeah.
saying? Like,
So again, it's one of those things where you can do things to mitigate your
Yeah.
risk. Like
for sure.
yeah.
Do you guys get like gigs throughout the weekdays as well, or just the weekends mostly?
Yeah. I mean, again, it just depends what kind of DJ you are.
Uh-huh.
Like, there's like I have a lot of DJ friends who like they love doing like happy hour gigs. So they'll do a lot of bars. Like they do Taco Tuesdays, they do like Wicked Wednesdays, like they'll do like Trivia Thursdays, and they'll like do a bunch of these gigs throughout the week. And I think it just depends like how busy you want to be, what direction you're trying to take your career in. Like I stopped doing those kind of gigs a while back, just because I don't know, like sometimes there's not really a lot that I want to do on a Thursday, or like sometimes I'll do like a Sunday booking maybe, but for the most part I do mostly Friday Saturdays right now. But yeah, there's a lot of like sometimes they'll hit me up for like a Taco Tuesday or something, and it really just for me comes down to like, okay, is it worth me going out on a Tuesday? Does this align with my branding, like things like that, So yeah, there's tons of DJs that do make a living like DJing during the week. Again, even sometimes like there's DJs that work at like have another job like doing like audio engineering for like a church or something. Like they'll run the mixer board or something, So there's all these different things that DJs can do, side hustles aside from just like straight like nightclub gigs,
And what does it take for like a DJ to like hit like the biggest stages? Like,
I would say, man, if I had that answer, I'd be there right now. Like, but based on what I've seen, I think it really just comes down again, just knowing the right people. Because like I know some really, really, really talented DJs who are like, I'm like, dude, like you could be traveling the world right now. Like, you could be doing this and that, and they're not. They're just like they're maybe comfortable where they are, or they just don't know the right people. And then I know the opposite. I know so many DJs who like they just started DJing last week, and somehow now they're like booked at EDC. It's like, dude, what? Like you're like you see people like that. Like there's one guy who blew up on TikTok, Ian Asher, and he's like super talented kid. Like he's super young. He just blew up this last year. Now he has a residency in Vegas, and it's like, dude, like that's crazy. Like so many DJs have been putting in work for like years, and they'll never see that. And then he's been doing this for like publicly to TikTok for like a year. And I'm not saying that to discredit him, but just like that's dope that like your life could change like that. But it really is about who believes in you and who you know. And like for him, like what I always tell DJs is like your content. Oh, did the camera die?
Yeah, that one's rolling.
Yeah, like I was saying, like when it comes to content is really like your resume. So the more eyes you can get in front of your content, like that's really your like pitch to other people. So for him, you could say like all the videos that went viral for him, like is what allowed people to like believe in him to get him to that point, So, yeah, that's pretty much I would say what it comes down to, is just who you know, really.
So,
hold up, before you keep going, guys, we're gonna check on this camera real quick. We'll be right back.
Yep.
All right, guys, we're back once again. Camera's rolling now.
It always happens.
Yeah.
You already know podcast things, but before we wrap it up, cause our boy over here he has another event before his actual nightclub event out there in Temple.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask, what be getting crazier? Like what event? Like a reggaeton event or like a EDM? You know what I'm saying? Which one's more crazy that you experience? Like the crowd goes crazy, more singing, more dancing. You see people passed out drunk. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like which was more like crazy?
I would say it depends what kind of crazy you're talking about. Cause like crazy in terms of like, yeah, like people getting drunk and like blacked out, and like there'll be like maybe some fights and stuff like that. Like I would say like a reggaeton crowd, like because yeah, people just be going out, they be wilding out. But I would say like EDM events, like especially nowadays, they're more like there's a lot more like drug consumption. So there'll be people on like Molly, like shrooms, like just tripping out. So I would say those are a little more calm, because when people are on Molly, they're just like vibing, they're like so it's more chill for sure. But then you have that one random person that just like is not tripping well and they're going crazy. So it just depends what kind of vibe like you're talking about. But I would say like in terms of like I would say in terms of energy wise, like for me, like just seeing people having a good time, I would say like reggaeton, because I feel like people love to sing songs, and I feel like doing the classic reggaeton especially, like people go crazy. Like when you drop like Daddy Yankee or something, like
that's gonna be us tonight. For sure.
Nah, when Justin Bieber comes on.
Justin Bieber, baby, you're right.
I'm gonna drop that just for y'all right after Gasolina.
We're gonna make eye contact. We're gonna be like, it's coming.
I'm gonna do like Pitbull into Justin Bieber.
There you go,
Mr. Worldwide.
Remember that?
Worldwide.
Yeah, because you do hear that a lot. You'd be like, oh, I went to a rave and the experience was like everyone's super friendly. You know what I'm saying? Everyone's on Molly or whatever, having a good trip. But and reggaeton, I feel like people be getting drunk.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? People be getting caught cheating.
or it's funny because Gasolina has another off-brand party called Belico Party, which is like a peso pluma party.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And those be getting crazy
Yeah,
too.
we've been to a
'cause
couple of those.
those-
We've been to a couple of those.
Have you
Yeah,
done
yeah.
any of those?
I haven't done any of those.
No?
No,
Would you?
my bag is not too deep. Like
Uh,
I don't. The thing about Belico music is like it's harder to DJ because it's just like you really can't mix it. Like I've tried mixing it. Like you can here and there, but at least the parties that I've gone to, like there's only so much like Belico music you could play. Like so you end up branching out to other genres. And I don't know. I like to just stay consistent with the theme.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
For the last question before this podcast ends,
Yeah.
what are your goals for 2024? The year just started. What do you want to do, or what do you see? Like, what's the end goal for this year?
Yeah. Number one is for sure production, like making my own song. I want to release at least one original song, which is like a scary feat, you know, because you're making something new to the world and you're hoping people to like it. But you got to start somewhere, you know. And I feel like for me, I've made a few remixes and stuff, like mashups here and there, but nothing ever truly original. So I want to start making my own music to like finally put something out there to the world, and like I think that's really what's gonna take me to like festivals and stuff if I really want to get to that level. So that's number one for sure. Like just putting out something on Spotify that's like of my own. And then number two, I would say like I really want to launch my party, which I've been branding for a minute. It's called Baywav. Like I have the Instagram handle, the TikTok handle. Like I bought the domain bayrave.com and everything, and I've just been trying to work find the best partners to like work on that with, just to really get it done right, you know, because I don't want to overthink it, but I also want to make sure like I'm executing my vision how I want it. Especially right now in this market, there's like so many raves happening. Like I want to make mine a little more unique. So I have these really cool ideas that I'm kind of dabbling around with. But I would say those are the main two I think that are going to take me from like this open format DJ that I've been for the last few years of like doing like 5 to 6 hour DJ sets of just playing everything, to now like more like shorter, like 1 to 2 hour sets where like I'm playing more like, you know, EDM, like my own music, and then people are going to the show for me. Because for a lot of these clubs, like for when I go to Reno, for example, like people are going there to see other DJs, like, or they're like not there to see me specifically. Like I may have a few people that pull up and show up, but for the most part, just random strangers that are in Reno. Whereas like my goal is to flip that on its head, and like if I go somewhere, like I want everyone in that room to be there because of me, you know. And I think it really takes production, and then also having your own party, because a lot of DJs that started off like Diplo, like, you know, Carnage, who's now Gordo, like Steve Aoki, they all started with their own parties, like that's how they blew up. So I'm just trying to replicate those models that those guys did. But yeah,
That's dope.
Yeah.
Hopefully everything goes good for this year, and
thank you.
either, well, of course, try to reach it, get there,
Yeah,
or just get closer. Any progress, I think, is, you know, good progress.
for
So,
sure,
in the podcast, is there anything you want to say? I know you got merch coming out, so if you want to speak about that or anything.
yeah, I mean, for sure. Yeah, I mean, I'm just gonna say, like, if you want to come to a show or anything, just like definitely hit me up in the DMs. If you know another DJ that like wants help with their career, like whether it's like the business side of things or just getting better at DJing, like my DMs are always open. So like I always encourage people to hit me up. I'm always down to like chop it up with someone. So I'd say that's probably the biggest thing, is just like I'm always down to just show love and stuff. And but yeah, I'm gonna be releasing some merch soon, so be sure to check out like Baywav.com. I'm also working on a book right now, that I'm really excited about, which is pretty much the same thing, just like compiling everything that I've ever learned into like a book so that I can share with other DJs. And so that's really something that I'm really working on a lot, that I'm excited about. So yeah, a lot of stuff coming. Obviously, just stay up to date with my social media. I'm at Baywav on everything, Baywav.com. So
Yep.
I appreciate y'all, for having
Hell
me.
yeah,
Well,
no,
thank
thank
you
you,
for
bro.
coming.
Thank you.
You're a
Yeah.
chill person, and we fuck with you, and
Yeah.
but Miga
Thank
too.
I know, shout
Like,
out
both of you
Miga.
guys are really
Yeah.
chill. Shout out Miga.
Yeah.
No. Anything you want to say before we
Well,
outro it?
thank you for coming. You know, it's a blessing, you know, to have, you know, different people come and then
Yeah.
to take the opportunity. Thank you, your manager.
Yeah.
You know,
Of Amiga.
Shout out you guys. Thank you guys again for all the love and support. Make sure you guys check him out. Most of our viewers are from the Bay Area, so make sure you guys follow him. I know you guys be out all Saturday night, Friday night, so make sure y'all hit him up like he said. His all his socials, first link in the description. Check him out. Miga, again, shout out you. Thank you, appreciate you. Thank you for coming on the podcast. It means a lot. More podcasts coming soon, guys. We have. Make sure y'all follow us on TikTok too. We've been killing it on TikTok too. We got a little skits going on.
Yeah, that's fire.
Yeah, but yeah. Abel?
That's it. No, just thank you for coming on. Appreciate it. See you later.
Yeah,
See you
Ooh,
later.
we gonna get lit
See you
tonight.
later.
What up, party?
We gonna put up body.
Body,
All right, guys. Thank you guys for watching, and we out.
All right, man.